Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the northwest corner of the map, playing in pink. We got Beastyqt playing on his Smurf account, playing as the ayyubids, and his opponent in the southeast playing in blue. We got giveuanxiety playing as the Abbasid dynasty. Welcome everyone to Golden Pit. That's the map for today, featuring the old versus the new. It's going to be an exciting one. I don't think I've seen this matchup, and there's lots to talk about for sure with the ayyubids going out and about with the scout, of course, and both players looking to get that valuable sheep off the map. Now, the Abbasid dynasty versus the ayyubids obviously a variant civilization, have a bit more flexibility in some ways with the varying things they can get from the House of Wisdom. Of course, they've still got the 4 wings they can go for, the economic wing, the military wing, culture wing, and trade wing. But they do have 2 options on each wing. Makes things a little bit more customizable. The Abbasid dynasty, though, probably a little bit having a bit more of an edge in terms of economy, having access to Fertile Crescent with the Eco Wing, and then also getting fresh foodstuffs from the town centre, given that cheaper cost for food for those villagers. It really means that they can get 2 town centres very nicely and very cheaply. We'll see how the ayyubids decide to play this one out. Now, the ayyubids tend to go very much for a fast castle play in many occasions, many matchups at least. Tend to open up with the Eco Wing, sometimes even the military wing into the castle age, which we'll see what Beasty decides to do today. Could even go for trade wing, going for the valuable trades. There's lots of things you can do with the ayyubids. And how they face up against the Abbasid dynasty. If it's played typically, GUA probably will be opening up with the second town centre. It's quite typical for this civilization. And what's kind of interesting is the map spawn. Both players have their golds forward in a map which is, well, Golden Pit. You've got plenty of gold on the map, but it's mostly forward. Although actually, hang on a second. Beasty's got his at the back. That's actually quite helpful for him, gotta say. Unfortunately, that's not a luxury that the abbasids have today, which I suspect he's going to be able to secure up with a second town centre here, probably with the deer camp and that gold. In fact, the berries in the gold could be a nice spot here for that second town centre. I feel like he almost has to, considering the forward gold positions. And it will indeed be the military wing coming out for the Abbasid dynasty, possibly a military wing into second town centre, looking to harass a little bit, and it will be growth, the economic wing for the ayyubids. Interesting approaches so far. Now, we can see the microing here. The Beasty very, obviously paying attention. You can't afford to take a single berry bush entirely, because if you take it completely, then you lose the bonus you get, the 50 food that you'd love to get. Getting plenty of sheep, but that's a lot of sheep that are coming from Beasty as well. Holy moly. That is a lot. Well, it's going to hold him in a good position to maybe go for a fast castle behind this. Possibly both players go for fast castle, but I think if there's a player that going for the second town centre at a stretch, it would be the abbasids. In any case, I hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel recently. I've been pumping out a lot of casted games for Age of Empires 4. Definitely been enjoying it recently, very much so. I hope you guys have been too. I always appreciate the support that you guys have been given, whether it be on Twitch or on YouTube. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, bear in mind I am streaming a lot on Twitch these days, so if you want to catch the games live, it's worth checking out. I'll leave a link in the description below where you might be able to find me, well, where you would be able to find me on Twitch. Now, with the back gold like this, it could be a nice fast castle build here for the ayyubids. It's a nice protected area, although with the military wing, the units could head out quite quickly for the abbasids. Bearing in mind the relic positions as well, it's actually going to be something that maybe Beasty might be considering. Let's just see how many villages have got on gold at the moment. Oh, it's taking them off of gold, so possibly isn't a fast castle at all by any means. We'll be focusing on a bit of feudal age pressure, which is understandable when you see the military wing coming out for the abbasids. And there they are, there are those units. 2 spearmen, 2 archers. Pretty decent army, I've got to say, considering you don't have to invest any wood into that. To get these units, you'd need an archery range and a barracks. You don't have to get any of that. That would be 300 wood to get those 2 buildings. Pretty nice to have these 4 units, and they're moving across the map now and just seeing what they can hit. Which I gotta say is not a lot. Possibly could go to the berries, but will take a long time to go all the way around to the gold, which is possibly where he really wants to hit. As we see an outpost going up there for Beasty. And the great positioning of that gold can't be understated, because it's got the outpost on the right side, which completely protects it from that area. On the west side, you could just put a palisade wall here and be completely protected. Bear in mind, in many situations, the gold, you often need 2 outposts just to defend it from both angles. Actually, the ayyubids in this map generation, just 1 outpost would be fine. He's pushing the villagers away from barriers, so just as well that he's got plenty of sheep, he's going to need that. Wonder if he's going to go for that greedy fast castle. On the other hand, the abbasids mining a lot of stone, looking to get that second town centre as the villagers do back away now, and looking to get that second town centre on the deer camp and the gold. It's a nice spot, I've got to say. Going to protect that food, protect the gold, which is going to be very key to get to that castle age. The question is, with fresh foodstuffs and the cheaper town centres for the Abbasid dynasty, question is really, how much does that second town centre set them back from going to the castle age? And it's not all that much. So it's actually kind of interesting to think about the strategy. If Beasty's thinking about going for a straight fast castle, sure, he will get there faster. Question is, how much faster? Did go up with growth in the end, so did have an extra 3 villagers. And we shall see what he decides to go to the castle age with. Will he go for the trade wing? Quite possible, because whilst you can go for the advancement in terms of getting there a bit quicker, a bit cheaper, ultimately you want to get units out quickly, and trade wing can do that for you. Getting the Bedouin skirmishers and the Bedouin swordsmen. Going out to the deer camp on the right side, which Beasty will spot now. Units there for giveuanxiety, not really been able to do much in the way of pressure. Has kept them dotted around and scattered around. I'm afraid it's just not much for him to hit. Very condensed economy, very condensed base building for Beasty. A lot of villages and gold, so kind of expecting it to be the trade wing, right? There it is. It's going to be the bazaar. That will give him access to very favourable trades, which I'm sure he'll take. Perhaps look to challenge for those relics. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mosque being dropped down by the ayyubids pretty quickly, for obvious reasons, to get those dervishes out onto the relics and get them out quickly. Looks like GUA didn't actually go for the Fertile Crescent in the end, actually. Well, he wouldn't be able to. He went for the military wing, right? So he opted for the second town centre, just purely getting the full cost of the town centres, but he did get fresh foodstuffs, which will, of course, cheapen the cost of those villagers. The question is, what does he go to the next stage with? We'll have to see. But that 3-villager advancement that he had there with the growth to get to the feudal age is kind of obsolete now. It's been taken over by the second town centre for the Abbasid dynasty. It does mean the ayyubids are kind of on a timer, right? So whilst they do get some of the relics in early, if they can do, that's kind of what they need to do, really. The pressure will be on because the eco will be scaling really well for the Abbasids. Now that he has that second town centre, getting wheelbarrow as well, so all important eco upgrades coming in fast for GUA. The double broadaxe and the mining upgrade coming in for Beasty. I wonder if he's actually traded in for some units just yet. Well, he won't. Yeah, he will now. Bear in mind that the spectator bug is there for capture age, so you can't actually see when he's advancing, but he certainly is getting to that castle age right now as we speak, and we'll see what trades he gets. I suspect he's going to want to get some of those Bedouin skirmishers. Looks like, unfortunately, did he have access to it? No, he hasn't got anything just yet. Got plenty of gold to play around with though, hasn't he? Holy moly. Can certainly buy the food if he needs to. I suspect we'll see a mosque being built soon. We'll have to see how quickly he goes for it. Golden Age Tier 1 does go down. Now bear in mind the Golden Age Tier is a little bit different between the Ayyubids and the Abbasids. The Ayyubids, they have a little bit more of a shorter distance between each age, but each tier, each age does give you a little bit less for what you get for the Golden Age. Of course, 10 structures for the Golden Age Tier 1, but 10% gathering rate for the villagers already in play. The Abbasid Dynasty for the Tier 1, whilst they would get a 15% buffering of the villagers, actually, to be fair, that's just better. That's just straight up better. But the next tier is a little bit more difficult to reach. There's an extra 10 structures needed. That's a nice bit of boosting economy. You can see the real focus of the Abbasids on the economy side of things compared to the Ayyubids. And it will be the culture wing for the Abbasids at the moment, and that will give them access to preservation of knowledge. That would reduce the cost of all technologies by 20%. Beasty looking to wall up on the right side and make sure that eco is protected at the back. Bear in mind that he only has one access to gold here at the back, which is almost running out, so he's got to be careful. Like, the map control that GUA has at the moment is kind of scary, and it should get better for him, considering that second town centre should fund more units. bear in mind fresh foodstuffs means that the villager cost isn't harming him all that much with the second town centre. If he does establish map control, gold could be difficult to come by for Beasty. There it is, there's the castle age. Of course, Beasty getting there a little bit quicker, but hasn't been able to mop up any of the relics just yet. Has picked one up. Looking to bring that one home. He should get it nice, safely and securely. With a decent villager lead and that climbing, you've got to feel like the ayyubids are a bit of on a ticking timer, right? They've got to do some damage. They've got to do some damage quickly. When I say quickly, maybe in the next sort of 10-15 minutes, right? But it does feel a bit rough if they don't. Now, with the castle age in play now for GUA, he's going to go for that blacksmith. Does he have a mosque himself? Not yet, but he's going into stable units, which is not a bad idea if he's looking to try and deny some of those relics. Deer camp being taken at the back, and a lot of the key resources on the back. 2 stone mines, bringing in a second relic, and a third actually, in fact, which is going to be strong. I think if he gets 3 of the 5 relics, he's going to be pretty happy with that. Could even potentially get a 4th. And that'll be a really good amount of relics there for Beasty if he can get that in. There's a good chance he might do. Going out to the deer camp. The good thing for the abbasids is that with this map control, they can really start to solidify 20 military versus 6, a better economy, and it kind of shows you that the fast castle is a bit tricky, right? I mean, sure, he's got the relics, which will certainly help, but if this goes on for much longer like this, with the eco scaling so well for the abbasids, it could get very tricky for the ayyubids. I don't think he gets the villager in the end. Takes him out, the horseman. Horseman does go down. Comes in with a couple of lancers, walling up to the houses there. But the enemy troops are in, and I think he's going to try and get a keep here, Beasty. Kind of needs to do something. He's going to go for a fast Imperial. While they're coming off. Oh, we might actually get them. Does he? Just about gets out of there. Pretty lucky in the end. I don't think he kills any of the dervishes, though. But yeah, it looks like it's a fast Imperial. Holy moly, we've not seen that before from the ayyubids, but it definitely feels that way. He's got no production. Well, he does have some production. Whoa, does he? Wait, does he have any? Here? Wow, this is super greedy, I gotta say, from Beasty. Not a single production building. Could rely on the trade. And he's going to go for the military wing reinforcement. Well, he thought about it. Then he cancelled it. I think that's some swordsmen first and then go up to the next stage. It's kind of crazy going for this fast Imperial Age tech up. Maybe looking to... Well, he's going to need some units fast after that, though, I've got to say. Otherwise, he's just going to flat out die. GUA coming up with the ram and pushing him from the east side. I think if you're GUA, you feel kind of comfortable. I mean, even with Beasty going up to the Imperial Age, I mean, he'll have some units, maybe. And they'll be highly upgraded, potentially. But, I mean, does he have the eco to sustain that? I'm not so sure. That's going to be tricky. Going for the west side sacred site, or at least denying it. There, GUA. It's been difficult for GUA to do significant damage. He's going to have to invest in rams. He's got one so far. Exactly. Camel Connoisseur in the chat. It is a Cambulance. But should be able to push this. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't really stop anything, right? He's already taken the gold, and with 5 relics, Beasty's gold income is relatively good at this point. Of course, the big problem for him is if he can't get access to the middle gold, or this front gold, which he will now with the 2 outposts. That's actually really clutch. The fact that GUA didn't actually deny this is absolutely huge. With the dervishes as well, going to be having good mass healing. With 2 outposts garrisoned inside, GUA needs to fight this position for sure, and he needs to stun that golden income. If he doesn't, well, the Imperial Age tech up will bode him in good position here. Going up with the military wing, going to be giving the cavalry units the ability to construct siege weapons. And get 7 desert raiders every 2 minutes, which is actually kind of crazy. Every 2 minutes you can get 7 units for free. Here comes a ram on the front side, and he's going to need more. And try and take out the relics. This is actually a smart play. If he cuts off this gold income, this is going to be huge. There's 3 relics inside there. Might be looking to take out those villages on wood. He's going to back away, though, for now. Possibly too many units. I mean, it's mostly coming down to the mass heal from the dervish. Maybe they could try and get Wallow. Backs away now. Deposits the relic back inside. And just as well, a couple of lancers do wrap around the villages on gold. Should get 1 or 2 at least. There's not enough village. There's not enough space in terms of villagers going inside the garrison slots there in the outpost in the end. Looking to get another mosque to deposit the relics in, but here come desert raiders. That's a lot of them. I mean, 7 of them, alright? He gets them for free, the tech up, which is absolutely huge. And these are veteran desert raiders. Wallow comes up, but I don't think it's going to get it. It's going to push the army back, though, at least. And He's going to buy himself some time here, Beasty. At least another 2 Wallows should come out just to push the army back. He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful here, GUA, not to dive in a little bit too closely. Holy moly. He backs away for now, and the relics, 3 of them. Another one. GUA. 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 Oh my god, wait. Okay, he timed it to perfection. Ooh, that's close. It's calculated, I guess, if you ask him. He's running risks there, I gotta say, though. A decent army, though. He's going to take a lot of those camels out with the spearmen, right? I mean, ultimately, he's got the good counter units here. The Abbasid dynasty pushing hard. 41 military versus 11. Beasty went for the fast Imperial strat, probably trying something cheeky. It's not working for him. At least not yet. At least not at the moment. Thing is, though, GUA does have to actually kill his opponent, because if he doesn't, if he lets him come back into the game, the ayyubids are in the Imperial Age, and it can start to hurt him. But with a ram on the front line, taking out the outpost, killing villagers, killed 11 so far. That's going to be big, but I guess ideally here, Beasty needs to save up as much as he can for the units. Got a couple of crossbows, which would do well. He needs a lot more of them, though. He could trade them in. The trouble is he doesn't have access to gold. So the Trade Wing Bazaar kind of doesn't help him at this point. But it's by no means over. Now, if Beasty can rush up a keep on this forward position to protect this gold, that could be a lease of life into this game. Here comes a mangonel being built on the field here. GUA needs to pile on the pressure, right? Because whilst he does have a strong economy, the military numbers not looking too overwhelming, which you kind of want at this situation. Now, one could say, maybe not with the Abbasid dynasty, right? Fresh food stuff, it just makes villagers too cheap to not do it. But sometimes you might even consider idling your economy, at least production of villagers, to save that food if you're running short. Because GUA is spending everything he's got. Feels like he does have a timing window, at least for now. If Beasty builds up a large army, it could be difficult to deal with. This is a strong army, by the way. Desert Raiders and crossbows. He's starting to mass up a little bit. Oh, Mangonel comes out. I love the choice there for the Mangonels. Will do great work against the crossbows. Needs to keep the Mangonel protected, though. One concern for the ayyubids is going to be running out of food very shortly. Not that many deer carcasses left. 2 relics being denied again by GUA. Killed 13 villagers already and almost double the economy numbers. I mean, it looks like it's going to be really difficult for Beast to come back from this position, but I wouldn't put him out of it just yet. Going to secure up the wood walls once again in front of the berries and just delay things, right? This is something you really want to do if you're going to be under pressure. Delay things as much as possible. Gets a springald to take care of the mangonel. It's an obvious choice, but it's a necessary choice. I think GUA needs to take out the production buildings for sure as well. But Beast's base is completely over. I'm going to try and get Wallow. Wait, is he going to try and take that? I don't think he gets that. He's got to back away. He does back away. Wait, is he? Yeah, he gets out in time. GUA, though, cutting it fine at times with the Wallows. Might be cleared up on the west side. There are not that many units here. He's going to try and get that keep, right? We thought about it with the amount of stone is gathering. And he will get the keep up in the end. GUA's army just wasn't in position. And Beasty, he picked his time. He picked his moment. And having access to gold again is actually a big problem because he's got the trade wing, right? So trade wing wise, he could look to try and get some veteran skirmishers and swordsmen. As long as he gets the unit numbers alive. He won't be out of this just yet. And ultimately, I guess in a way, GUA doesn't necessarily have to see out the game just yet, because that economy, he's going to be able to get to the Imperial Age soon himself. Especially factoring the population, right? 155 population to 80 or 90 odd. Here comes Golden Age Tier 2 for the ayyubids. Going to be increasing that research speed, although I think it just went down to tier 1 again. Bear in mind that with that miniature wing, is every few minutes is getting 7 desert raiders, so that number will start to climb, and you don't need economy for it. It just spawns. Coming in from the east side this time, and tier 2 does come back in. Okay, he's going to go for a raid, right? He's going to use the veteran desert raiders. They're going to put the name to the test. They're going to raid with the desert raiders, as you would. How's it going, Giando TV? Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you're doing well. These desert raiders, they might actually get some value. They might get to pick off some reinforcements. This is a bit of a problem for GUA because he's got a lot of army in the front line. He needs to kill with this army because he's going to lose reinforcements coming in. He's going to have to regroup back at home, and this is a lot of farmers very exposed. Forward farms for the win, and GUA probably felt very confident that this wasn't going to happen, but unfortunately it will, and it comes down to the miniature wing. It's actually a really strong tech up, getting free units. His army kind of split in two, and, well, he's going to get value here, Beasty. Now, the real problem for Beasty, he's not going to be able to kill 50 villagers anytime soon, right? It's going to take time, and he's going to need to take out that second town center as well. Desert Raiders toggling into the ranged attack, which is going to be taking out a lot of those villagers very quickly. But that's a lot of rams. Giveuanxiety, he feels like he wants to kill off the game instantly. Thank you, Jando TV. I appreciate it, my dude. It's very kind of you. I mean, he might actually take out this town center. If he toggles onto the melee form of the Desert Raiders, goes to the elite upgrade. Holy moly, these guys look good. Oh, on the backside, going to take out a lot of the village on the wood. Maybe two, actually. Should get two. The front lines, though. Here comes a big push with those rams on the keep, and I think this is a smart play. We need to take care of this goal position, right? Villagers come out to torch, and, well, there is a mangonel there for the... Is that a mangonel? Yes, it's a manganic for the ayyubids. Gets taken down, though. We'll lose the springald as well. A couple of villagers will go down, trying to burn that ram. And that's a lot of villagers idle, by the way. It's not as if Beasty has a lot of economy already. Literally half of his economy is idle at this point, and Spearman looks to just burn this down. It doesn't have boiling oil, right? So it can do this. But meanwhile, a lot of raiding coming out there for Beasty. Taking out villagers on the farms, and, well, whilst he's killed 22 villagers here, Giveuanxiety, Beasty getting a couple of his own, and has killed 11 so far. Well, that's going to be another... Wait, there's 15 villagers there for Beasty. That's going to be rough. He has to back away for now, and, well, he's going to lose a lot on the retreat. Down to 40 villagers. Desert Raiders still in decent numbers. Now, with half the economy, Beasty has got a mountain to climb. But if there's some players that... Well, if there's one player that can do it, it's probably him. Slowly but surely, Giveuanxiety. Villagers going on the west side. Both going for the wood. Holy moly. Okay, well, this is going to be a straight up villager fight here, it seems. It's kind of funny. Both looking to get the berries, right? The Berry Brothers. You have to share it. The trouble for Beasty is that, well, Giveuanxity's army should be close by. In fact, they are heading that position now. In a weird way, though, it buys them time, right? Because the army for Giveuanxiety focusing on the villagers here. You know, there are 10 villagers, but it means they can breathe a bit more at home. 2 manganic. An army coming out every few minutes from the House of Wisdom. Giveuanxiety up 100 villagers, though. Becomes difficult. It is going to be difficult. Especially with those villagers going down. Doesn't feel likely for a comeback, but... Giveuanxiety is still in the castle age, and he's going to be faced up against elite units, right? So it's making things a little bit tricky. And don't forget, amount of eco needed here for the ayyubids really is relatively minimal. We see a lot more elite raiders coming out, 7 of them. Mostly needs gold, and he can get Bedouin skirmishers and swordsmen added into the mix. Villagers coming out to wood, but I mean, constantly being harassed though. Beasty needs to try and stabilize that economy if he can. Maybe a second keep. And I guess one of the key resources he has relatively safe compared to the others is maybe stone. Those villagers, yeah, it's just buying time, right? Putting those army back. But I gotta say, it has bought him time. And Desert Raiders take care of the spearmen in the end. And in the south, takes out the infrastructure. Giveuanxiety, though, up to 200 population. I would expect him to go to the Imperial Age soon, right? Because he's got max population. He needs to make sure his army is fully upgraded and doing what it needs to do. Which is taking great engagements. They need to take some great engagements. After all, it's up against elite army here. From Beasty's ayyubids. Down in the south. Well, Lancers pushing away the Desert Raiders. But Raiders always trying to get some value. This is a large army, though, for Giveuanxiety. So it should push us back. And Beasty can't really do much in that situation. Gets a keep in the middle of the map. Saving that gold. And the gold is so precious for Beasty. Going to be able to use the Bazaar upgrade from the House of Wisdom to commission those Bedouin skirmishers if he can. But he's got to keep this keep alive. Going to get a cannon in placement as well, which makes it incredibly difficult for Giveuanxiety to deal with unless he gets ranged siege, which he can't really do much of. I mean, he could get some trebuchets potentially. Maybe Imperial Age would be a better call. He's going to go to the Imperial Age with the economic wing. Maybe get some bombards from there. Oh, a couple of villagers going to die on the wood line. Pretty exposed area to have those villagers there for Giveuanxiety. Getting an outpost to Manganic deploys. There's a lot of spearmen though. They're going to push away those villagers. At least keep them garrisoned for now. He needs to make sure that he holds onto this position though. 38 villagers to 110. It's actually kind of bonkers. 90 military units versus 34. I've got to say, once the tech up comes in there for Giveuanxiety, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Usually using the standard defenses as the way to get back into the game. But he's going to need more than just static defenses. Maybe looking to get a second town center potentially just to natural equalize that economy. But it feels like Beasty now is going to have an all-in push at some point. It's going to come down to one big all-in push. Beastyqt pretty exposed. I think this Beastyqt going to go down if GUA decides to pressurize it. He does have cannon in placement, by the way. So he will take out some units with him. But GUA feels confident. He feels happy he's going to take this down. And he will. Right, he just will. Might have some casualties because of the cannon placement. But I don't think he even gets another shot off. He might get one more shot off. Yeah, he gets one more. And then there's no more after that. It's going to go down pretty quickly. And now gold is going to be an issue. Now, I love the fact that he took the forward gold, by the way. It's nice attention to detail. Like, he had the position to do that, and now he has the back goal to, or the forward goal to go back to. Well, that's going to be a lot of villagers, though. Down to 35 villagers. Killed 50 villagers so far, GUA. Absolute insane numbers. Surely there's no way back here for Beasty, right? Surely. GUA now getting into that Imperial age, and look at that economy, that food economy coming in really nice. It's again raiding though. The trouble for raiding issues is that, well, the second town center means that GUA, even if he loses villagers, he'll be able to remake them. And to be honest, at this stage, killing villagers is going to be doing GUA a favor more than anything. It means there's more population space to invest into military. Speaking of, they're heading forward. They're looking to pressure. Desert Raiders just keeping an eye on the barriers there, but no villagers to be had. They're just coming out to the barriers once again, trying to get that food, and oh, that's a scary army, I gotta say. But again, most of it's still veteran. Upgrades are coming in now, pretty soon at least. GUA population cap means that the resources are going to be starting to build up, and even if GUA loses this army, it feels like it's going to be able to make it again, once again, very quickly. That's a lot of camels. Beastyqt deploy on the spearmen, and well, it's going to push this back for now. There's no sprinkles here for GUA. He could build them on the field if he so wishes. There's a population cap though, more or less. Down in the South, Desert Raiders doing what they do best, which is raiding. Horsemen are doing the same though for GUA. Something that's got to be dealing with. I wonder if the Desert Raiders will actually switch to their ranged attack. On the east side, breaking through the palisades gives another opportunity to break through on the east side there for GUA and the abbasids. They've got firm control in the middle. Not by static defenses, but mostly just by sheer positioning of army. Up to 45 military now. I think really the only way that Beasty can come back in this situation is just to mass produce military and go for one strong big push. That one big push is something that GUA has to defend. Oh, Desert Raiders going into a bit of a fight. GUA backing away for now. Dotting around those outposts just to make sure that Beasty's not on gold, and unfortunately this solo villager is gonna meet a painful death. GUA looking to get a keep in the middle just to really solidify things. GUA 200 population. I'm pretty surprised he's not actually going further forward, and there's a decent army there for Beasty, but the longer he leaves this, the more Desert Raiders come out for free from the House of Wisdom. And there's another batch. Bear in mind, they are now elite Desert Raiders, which makes things tricky for GUA. The army is pretty split for GUA. We'll get the keep up in time, but might suffer a bit of casualties. Nope. Beasty deciding to head back, looking to defend that Beastyqt. Two of them, by the way. Has a couple of dervishes. Will be using the mass heal, no doubt. And the army's actually looking stronger here for Beasty, I've got to say. If he takes out the keep, that's going to be the first stage of pushing this back. A couple of Desert Raiders raiding. Heading away, though. Needs to maybe get some bombards or some trebuchets, Beasty, but it's hard to afford it. It does have the wood, but not so much the gold. Gold is a serious problem. Golden Age Tier 3 comes in though for Beasty. That means he's going to be getting the production speeds up by 20%, which is actually kind of important. You want the production at this stage of the game for sure. 50 military versus 87. Biology coming in for GUA. Will make the camels and the horsemen a little bit tankier, adding on the extra HP. But every passing minute, Beasty will get stronger and stronger. Couple of archers looking to harass, but not likely to get too much value. Peels off a bit of army here to pick off reinforcements. He will get them. Look at this Beasty though. This is probably the big push that we're kind of expecting. I think this is the one win condition he has. He needs to keep this army alive, and if he does have a chance. I mean, there's always a possibility of a landmark snipe as well, considering there's only 2 landmarks there for the abbasids. Well, and the ayyubids alike. Here come two Manjanik, and, well, Jiwei, his reaction is to head back home rather than attack. Well, he is attacking a little bit with a couple of lancers. Going on the east position. Well, he's got enough here to take out the second town centre, but will he be able to take out villages as well? He has killed 45 villagers, by the way. All things considered, that is pretty impressive. And that count is going to rise. It's going to rise quite drastically. There's quite a lot of eco here on the right side. The question is whether Jiwei has enough to deal with this. He's bringing the army back home, but if Jiwei does kill this army, you feel like Beasty won't have much more left in the tank. He doesn't have the economy to supply another military force like this. Villagers escaping on the right side. We'll take out the town centre. It's not the most strong town centre these days, the second town centre. 2,500 HP. Can go down in a blink of an eye in the Imperial Age. The army has been cleared up. Going on the east side, and well, Jiwei, still 190 population. No real problems for him. Plenty of food in the bank. Now, if we can get a couple of keeps in the middle to solidify the gold positions, it makes things even more difficult for Beasty. Beasty not really relying on gold at this point. All the gold he's getting is from the relics, and the premium units the Desert Raiders is getting for free. Gonna try and break through. Does kill one villager, maybe 2. Does get the second villager in the end. And that's a lot of barracks. Down in the southeast, Beasty though. What is his target? What's he hoping to get? And that's a lot of army. Jiwei's going to cut off that push for sure. Up to 87 military. That's kind of crazy numbers in some ways. Magic deploy. They are in the incendiary version of the attack. About to attack. This could be the big fight of the game. The Desert Raiders are on the ranged mode, by the way. Magic deploy. Does have a culverin. The culverin will snipe out one mangonel. About to snipe out a second. Magic, rather, it does back away. Well, no, he takes it out. Makes things a little bit more tricky now for Beasty. Doesn't have the siege on the field. Going to lose a dervish potentially as well. No, managed to get out of there. Survives for now. There's no real retreat. It's been walled in. It's been boxed in, and that's going to be hard to break out of. Oh, villagers coming to wall. I don't think the wall goes up in time. He manages to escape just about. Might be pinched. He's being body blocked. Great play there by Jiwei just to try and body block the cavalry, but the rest of the army didn't get the memo. Jiwei is being pressured in the middle once again. Beasty building up the numbers quite heavily. Here comes some rams. Oh, that's a lot of rams. Ram train has commenced. 6 of them. Should take out the keep, by the way. It's actually quite critical. Jiwei not being able to finish this game off just yet. Gets another keep and a third one. Well, it looks like Beasty wants one of his own. Does he have boiling on? No boiling on means that the spearmen should actually just die this, actually. There's no real problem with doing that. That's a lot of army. Jiwei doesn't have his army in position just yet. They're heading there now, but they're a little bit slow to the fight. And, well, Beasty will kill some villagers for sure. He's killing a lot of villagers. Jiwei down to 73 villagers. This is insane. How has he managed to do that? Jiwei just lost so many villagers. And it was almost for free. Tried to keep up the keep, but the keep goes down. He deletes the second one that was building and didn't get finished. And, well, now it's kind of crazy. Beasty's killed 80 villagers. Surely there's no way back, right? This is insane. 70 villagers versus 71. And Jiwei's bank of resources isn't looking healthy either. It doesn't really have the food, but he does have a lot of army, right? 156. Maybe he actually killed some villagers. It almost felt like he deleted some. I'm not so sure. Either way, he's got a lot of population on the army. And, well, whilst Beasty did have a strong army in the front lines, which was possibly his main opportunity to win the game, he's going to lose the rams. And we can say the same for now for Jiwei. He's got a huge army. And this could be the killer army that Jiwei's been waiting for. He's going to take out that keep pretty quickly. Even with the cannon emplacement coming in. I don't think cannon emplacement... I mean, he makes it in time. Might get 1 or 2 shots off, but that's about it. Then they just have to retreat. Oh, that's good timing. I mean, that's unfortunate. The cannon emplacement came in. Barely got any value. And this is looking now rough for Beasty, I've got to say. He's going to somehow defend against 124 military. And it's a lot of food coming in per minute. 1,500 there for Jiwei. So even if he loses the army, he should be able to replace it. pretty quickly. Couple of units there on the east side for Beasty. Just trying to get some value if they can try and raid back in. G-Way, he should be content with the 74 military. Ultimately, all he really needs, 74 economy rather, all he really needs is military in the field now to finish off the game. No siege though in terms of rams. But he does have hand cannoneers, which makes things incredibly difficult for the ayyubids at this point. Does have a keep back home and another manjanik. Did he get a second town centre as well, Beasty, by the way? So that villager count will start to equalise a little bit. Bear in mind, Beasty actually has 2 town centres versus G-Way's 1, and wait, surely not. I mean, if Beasty holds this attack, there is a world in which he could come back. The question is, this is much the death ball of army. Holy moly. Elite camel archers, hand cannoneers, a culverin in the mix as well. Makes things pretty challenging. The army in the front lines there for Beasty will go down. I mean, how is he kept alive in this game? It's absolutely crazy. Beasty though, he's got to find a way to deal with this army. It's such a huge army, split into 2 groups by the way. So even if I like the play by G-Way, he's splitting up the army. It means that Beasty wants to split his army up. It allows the push on the front lines to happen, but again, still more raiding coming in. They get cleared out in the end and setting another group of villagers into the middle for the gold. He's actually being able to afford another keep. Having the 2 back stones actually had him in pretty good position. Or a couple of camel archers trying to snap as many villagers as they can, but they will go down eventually. But this is where the big death push is coming in. I'm not so sure he holds this. The House of Wisdom is going to be under pressure soon, and that's 120 military versus 50. It's going to need a miracle. Going to try and get some stone walls up to try and survive, and not a bad idea because it means the units will be not being able to get through that position. He will get the stone walls up in the end, and again, narrows the angle of attack for the abbasids. Having to come down the west way. It does take out the university. The army's starting to build up in numbers now. If Beasty still holds on, he's still getting the desert raiders for free. Has 2 culverin of his own, by the way. That could be huge. Imagine it could get good value. Possibly about to deploy. Desert raiders riding in. Spearmen on the back line of those. And he's still raiding on the east side. Still trying to trickle in units when he can. This is the main fight. Hand cannoneers holding firm on top of that hill. Spearmen charge in, and cavalry have to back away for Beasty. Just not enough numbers here, you feel, and this is going to be looking tricky. If Beasty doesn't win this fight, it could turn very south for him. Spearmen trying to brace against each other. Well, that's a lot more spearmen there for the abbasids. They will win that fight. On the east side, he's still being pressurized. G-Way keeping up the momentum on the east side, and it's forcing Beasty to pull away his army. Allowing the army in the front there for the abbasids to push once again, and the reinforcements coming in thick and fast. He's got 2,000 food per minute coming in, and that's definitely going to help him. Now, I would love to see him get sacred sites. He's getting 1, possibly getting another. Don't forget, Beasty has 5 relics, so he does have some trickle of gold coming in. Take a look at that. Taking out the production, that's going to be a problem, because wood is going to become an issue before too long. The wood line completely harassed there. That's a lot of units. That's a lot of villagers going down. He's killed 99 so far, making it a magic 100. Takes out that army. Here comes the production once again. Mostly barracks units going to be coming out soon. But with the House of Wisdom under pressure, I'm not so sure the Beasty holds this. It could be the last throw of the dice if he has one more army left. But 23 military versus 127. I don't think there's enough. There's villagers dying on the wood line. Does clear it up in the end. Gets the stone walls up. But again, the House of Wisdom under pressure. I don't think he can stop this death wall of army. If the House of Wisdom goes down, that's going to leave one more landmark. Beasty, he did manage to get a second town centre, build up the village elite. He did kill a lot of villagers. But you get the feeling that he's going to tap out soon because there's just so much military here. There is one last fight possibly coming out for Beasty. The one last hurrah for the ayyubids to stop the Abbasid dynasty pushing in. Oh no, the culverin's going to get caught there. One gets sniped. No, he keeps it alive for now. No, he does get sniped in the end. And with the army going down soon, that's a problem. Neutralize Sacred Site as a new objective for Beasty. Sacred Site victory has been activated as a win condition for G-Way. I don't think he will need it. Has to keep in a defensive position. That's going to hold on for as long as he possibly can. But take a look at that. More camel archers coming in, and that's an absolute destruction. There's no way that Beasty holds this. There's just so many units there for the abbasids. Does have boiling oil, but if that keep goes down, that's the mainstay of the defense there coming from the ayyubids, and it looks like he will go down just purely to the torches of the spearmen. The arrows of the camel archers. Trying to build up the numbers. A lot of the economy is idle there for Beasty. Down to 65 economy. Both pretty much on the similar economy, but G-Way, of course, with so many more military units. And that keep will go down. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Beasty taps out. There was no choice in the end of the day, but It was a great hold and almost a great comeback. But in the end, just wasn't able to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed the casted game, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. Take care, and see you next time.